Um, all right. Can anyone hear me? Yeah, can anyone hear me? All right. Okay, so welcome evidence. Welcome Timileyin, Divine Favor and Eniola. All right. So please if you can hear me, just let me know. You can unmute yourself and just let me know if you can hear me clearly. All right, all right. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's proceed with today's class. So I intend for this to last for just about an hour. So from 6 to 7 p.m. So let's start, and the others will join us as we proceed. All right. So
Who be this?
um so I believe some of us have heard of web design. Some of us have some little knowledge of what it is. Some of us are even experts in the field and stuff like that. All right. So today's class, let's um, head into. Please, Divine Favor, mute your mic.
Alright.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. So I just want to make sure that we are all engaged before I proceed. So if you are active, please, please, please indicate in the chat section with an emoji. All right, please indicate with an emoji or a message. All right, so I believe we are all active. So let's proceed. So first of all, let me just go through what we have, what will be, what we are expected to learn from day one of this training. So first of all, we'll be looking at purchase of domain and hosting from SmartWeb. Ignore this line, please. I just put it here so I would remember. All right, so the number two thing we'll be looking at is name servers and cPanel, and also we'll be looking at the installation of WordPress and also um, editing of the website. Let me just quickly edit this. Editing of websites. All right. So, all right. So, I will just share my screen now. Let me share my screen. Um, okay. So please, can anyone see my screen? If you can see my screen, let me know. All right, please, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. So, like I said before, Today we'll be looking at purchasing of domain and hosting, how to buy domains like I'll explain that when we get there. So the next thing we'll be looking at is name servers and cPanel. The third thing is installation of WordPress. Then the fourth thing will be website editing. Please mute your mic, Emiola. All right. So first things first. All right. So let's proceed. So I'll just log in into my account on this smartweb.com.ng. So to get a domain, so let's say we want to get a domain called website email. Website email, that is website IME. So I'll just search for this domain to see if it's available. So like I said, first of all, you go to smartweb.com.ng. You could also go to, I actually also like buying domains from namecheap.com. So whichever one you prefer, but sometimes I like patronizing smartweb.com.ng because um, their rates are actually cheaper. Alright. So after searching for that, it should show you this to let you know if the domain is available. Okay. Alright, so it will show you if the domain name is available. Alright, so as you can see here, we have the .com, which is 7,000 naira. We have .ng, we have .com.ng, and we also have .org. But we'll just be going for the .com.ng, which is more cheaper. So I'll click on this to buy the domain. Then I click on checkout. And so the next thing they would show us is for us to purchase an hosting. But I won't be doing that now. I'll just go with the default name servers and click continue. Alright, so I'm going to purchase this for 1,192 naira. So I just go to checkout to pay for this domain, that is websiteemail.com.ng. Then I click on checkout. Alright, so when it takes me to the checkout page, So I just click on already registered because I have an account with them already. So I just log into my already existing account. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and pay for the domain name. I just click on pay now. Um, Kindly pardon my background and background noise and also my slow internet. Okay. Alright. I'll just stop sharing my screen for now while I make the payment for this payment. So once I'm done with the filling of my cards and payment, I would reshare the screen so you can all see.
Okay. Yes, yes.
All right. So
Yeah,
I think there's some issues with
just
the.
now, sure.
All right. So I think there was an issue with the payment going through, and don't know what's wrong. But let me also just give an example using another domain. I think this might make us waste a lot of time. So I let me just log into. Let me show you what it would look like when you purchase a domain from SmartWeb. So let's say you let me show you an example of my domain when I purchase my domain. So let me show you what it would look like when you purchase a domain. Okay. All right. So when you purchase a domain and hosting, you'll get something like this from SmartWeb that tells you your account information. So this is something I got for a client some time ago. This is damagechips.com. If you can see from here, so it was a .com domain. When you purchase your domain from them, like I showed you earlier, just that we couldn't go through with the payment gateway. So you will get an email showing you your domain name and also get your name servers. Let's That's just how it goes to get your domain and your hosting. Alright. So you go to smartweb.com.ng. You go to smartweb.com.ng. You search for your domain name, and also when you've purchased your domain name, you um, come back to the home page of smartweb.com.ng. then get an hosting. To get an hosting, you just click on hosting here, then go to Linux shared hosting. So I usually tell people to go for Linux shared hosting because Linux shared hosting is actually cheaper, alright, but you could go for any form of hosting. So you go for Linux shared hosting. Let me see if there's anyone still trying to join the class. So I'm not keeping anyone waiting. I think there's no one else. Okay. So this is still loading. Alright, so as you can see here, you could get any of this hosting. You can get the one of 7.5, you can get the one of 9,000 naira. Now, what's an hosting? Okay, so I've explained what your domain is. A domain is like your www.google.com. Then your hosting is where is like a plug or a socket where your domain is connected to, so that your website can actually be live. So if you buy your domain name and you don't buy an hosting, um, your website will not be live and it will not be accessible on the internet. So that's why you have to come here and get an hosting, maybe the starter plan or the standard one. When you get that, you'll be given these details also in your mail, where you get your name servers and stuffs like that. So that is how you get your domain name and your hosting, which is the first thing we are supposed to look at in today's class. Purchase of domain and hosting from smartweb.com.ng. Right. So the next thing we'll be looking at is name servers and cPanel. So like I said, when you purchase your domain and hosting, SmartWeb will send you some information like this that you will see in your mail. Right. So these things contain your name servers and also your cPanel login. So I would log into an existing cPanel now using the domain name. So this is www dot this is damagechipscom/cPanel. So let's say you bought a domain for your name. Let me use someone's name, David Umaso. Sorry if I murdered that name. So davidumaso.com. So to access your cPanel will be something like davidumaso.com/cPanel. Alright, /cPanel. There you'll be able to start building your site. So let this just loading. So your cPanel login will look something like this. Then in that mail that you'll be sent by SmartWeb, you'll be given your username and also your password to log into your cPanel. Let me try this again. Alright, let me just know if we are still following. I think we have been mute for some time. Let me just get one or two responses before I proceed with the cPanel and okay, David. Any other person? Alright, thank you. Alright, so
Sir. Hello.
yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can.
Please, I was asking, can we get a video recording of the class? Because I really have to go and I don't know if there's a video recording of the class.
Yes, there will be a video recording of the class. It will be posted after this class, so that those on the group that couldn't make it to the class will be able to watch it later. Yeah.
Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. So I will still give some minutes later for questions and answers. So let's just round up on this on the cPanel aspect. So in case you have any questions and answers, they will be attended to at the end of the class. All right. So after you've logged into your cPanel, what you would do is you would go to this is your cPanel. You go to where you have the um, WordPress installation. You can go here, all right. So what you would do is you click on WordPress Manager by Softaculous, right? But before then, if your domain has not been added to the name server, you can just first of all go to domains where you see all your domains. So let me click on this. So when you go to domains in your cPanel, you'll see all the domains you've actually connected to that hosting. So here are my domains that I've actually connected to this particular hosting. All right. So this is an existing account. So as you can see, there's Damage Chips here. There's Cruise Nation. There's Cello Dynasty and other ones. So if you want to add a new domain to your hosting, you can just come here and click on Create a New Domain. And all you have to do is just type in that domain that you bought here. Right. So like I was using someone's name as an example, and I was using David Umaso as an example. Assuming you bought davidumaso.com, you could just come here and type that, right? So, but because I didn't get the domain, I'm just using this as an example. I would just do like an extension to a previous domain. Let's use david.damichips.com. Right, so I'm adding this as an additional domain. So domains like this that have dots in front of them. So damichips.com is the domain of itself. But when you add like some words or letters before a particular domain, that becomes a subdomain, meaning it's not the actual domain. The actual domain is damichips.com, but because we've added david.damichips.com, it becomes a subdomain. So I'll just add this to the cPanel and click on submit. Alright, so successfully I've successfully added that domain to the cPanel. So once you've added your domain to your cPanel, you will then go to your WordPress manager, which is here, as you can see, WordPress manager by Softaculous. This brings us to our next point, which is the number 3, which is installing of WordPress. Right, installing of WordPress. Right, still loading. Okay, so I'll just click on this WordPress manager. Right, so this is where you would install your WordPress. You just click on this button here where you have install. Click on install.
Please, can we do this on a smartphone?
Yes, you can do this aspect on a smartphone, but when it comes to editing the website, you can't do it on a smartphone because there are some functionalities your smartphone would not give you that only your laptop can give you. But this aspect of buying the domain, buying the hosting, and also installation of WordPress can be done on your phone. But I'll show you the aspects now. I think that might be in tomorrow's class where we'll start editing the website. You can't do that on your smartphone. It has to be on a PC. Right? Yeah. So let's proceed. So I will now install that domain. So the domain I added recently was, let me scroll down a little bit so you can see this. So the domain was david.damichip.com. Right, so always remember to remove this WP first. Then you scroll down and your site's name, let's say David. Then your site's description, my portfolio. Yeah, that should be fine. My portfolio. Right, so now you would now set your username and password. So let's say username is David. Then your password is after you've set your password and your username, you just click on install. Click on install. So after you click on install, this is what it would show you. It would say congratulations, the software was successfully installed. So you've actually installed WordPress, right? So let's access this website now. Let's open it in a new tab. So now our website is ready, right? So you can just check it out by, even on your smartphone, you can just visit david.damichips.com. You'll see that this website is actually live, right? So what I'm trying to explain is that after you've bought your domain, bought your hosting, you've gone to your cPanel and you've added your domain, you go to your WordPress installation to install that domain on WordPress, right? Then when you do the installation and set your username and password, your website will now be live like this. So people can actually start visiting your website. So by default, WordPress would give you a default template that people can actually go and see when they visit your website. So tomorrow, what we'll be doing is we'll be looking at how you can start editing your website from WordPress. All right. So let me show you what your back end would look like on WordPress. So if you want to access your backend, you will just click on this link that has the WP admin extension to it. To view your own website, it should just be the .com, or if your website is .ng, you could use that to visit your website. Then to access your backend, you use this URL. So let me copy and paste it again. Let me paste it here and load. Alright, yes, so this is what it would show you, right, to access your backend. So I'll just type in the um, the username and password. think I've forgotten the password already. I just forgot the password. I just forgot. All right, so let me just use my own to show you what it looks like. All right, so this is the. Please let's mute our mics. Ibrahim, please mute your mic. All right, so we'll soon be going into questions and answers for those of us who has questions and answers. All right, so I'll attend to all our questions and we'll proceed from there. So this is my own website. I'm just going to log into my own WordPress dashboard. Alright, so this is what your WordPress dashboard will look like. Alright, so this is the backend where you start editing your website and everything. Let me show you what my website looks like. Okay, so this is a portfolio website. So instead of having this default template that is given to you by WordPress, when you go to your admin dashboard, alright, when you go to your admin dashboard, you can start editing your website from here, which is what I'll be showing us from tomorrow. How you can edit your website, how you can choose a template, and this stuff is actually very, very easy to do. Alright, so that will be it for today. Let's go into questions and answers. Let me just recap what I've said so far. So we've looked at purchase of domain and hosting from smartweb.com.ng, name servers and cPanel, installation of WordPress, which we did from our cPanel. We'll look at editing of websites tomorrow. All right. So look at that tomorrow. So I don't want us to do too many things at once. Let's just go into questions and answers so we can proceed. Right. You can unmute yourself. Okay, no questions from David. Emiola and Precious. Do you have any questions?
No question, sir.
Okay. How about Precious?
No question.
Alright. Okay. That means all I said was very understood. Alright.
Yes.
Alright, thank you. So we'll get back tomorrow by 6 p.m. to look at how we could start editing our website, how to secure your website, and how to edit your theme or chosen template. So that will be like more of the main thing. All right, guys. So thank you for joining the class, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.